Hello, my name is Roy Yu Jiachen, and my student number is 22. The title of the speech is called How Doctors Can Help Low-Income Patients and Still Make a Profit by PJ Parmar. My level in NCUE is freshman and I major in English. How Doctors Can Help Low-Income Patients and Still Make a Profit by PJ Parmar. Colfax Avenue here in Denver, Colorado was once called the longest, wickedest street in America. My office is there in Innocence Place. It's a medical desert. There are government clinics and hospitals nearby, but they are not enough to handle the poor who live in the area. By poor, I mean those who are on Medicaid, not just for the homeless. 20% of this country is on Medicaid. If your neighbors have a family of 4 and make less than $3,300 a year, then they can get Medicaid, but they can't find a doctor to see them. A study by Mary Hawkins found that only 20% of the family doctors in Denver take any Medicaid patient, and of those 20%, some have caps like 5 Medicaid patients a month. Only make Medicaid patients wait months to be seen, but we'll see you today. If you have a Blue Cross. This form of classist discrimination is illegal and is not just a problem in Denver. Almost half of the family doctors in the country refuse to see Medicaid patients. Why? Well, because Medicaid pays less than private insurance and because Medicaid patients are seen as more challenging. Some show up late for appointments, some don't speak English, and some have trouble following instructions. I thought about this while in medical school. If I could design a practice that caters to low-income folks instead of avoiding them, then I would have a guaranteed customers and very little competition. Laughter. So after residency, I opened up shop doing undeserved medicine, not as non-profit, but as a private practice. A small business seeing only resettled refugees. That was 6 years ago, and since then, we've served 50,000 refugee medical visits. Applause. 90% of our patients have a Medicaid, and most of the rest we see for free. Most doctors say you can't make money on Medicaid, but we're doing it just fine. How? Well, if this were real capitalism, then I wouldn't tell you because you would become my competition. Laughter. But I call this bleeding heart capitalism. Laughter. And we need more people doing this, not less. So here's how we break down the walls of our medical maze by taking the challenges of Medicaid patients, turning them into opportunities, and pocketing the difference. The nuts and bolts may seem simple, but they add up. For example, we have no appointments. We're walk-in only. Of course, that's how it works at the emergency room, at urgent cares, and at Taco Bell. Laughter. But not usually at family doctors' offices. Why do we do this? Because Narsra can't call for an appointment. She has a phone, but she doesn't have a phone minute. She can't speak English, and she can navigate the phone tree. And she can't show up on time for an appointment because she doesn't have a car. She takes a bus, and she takes care of 3 kids plus her disabled father. So we have no appointment. She shows up when she wants, but usually waits less than 15 minutes to be seen. She then spends as much time with us as she needs. Sometimes that's 40 minutes, usually it's less than 5. She loves this flexibility. It's how she saw doctors in Somalia. And I love it because I don't pay staff to do scheduling, and we have a 0 no-show rate and 0 late-show rate. Laughter. Applause. It makes business sense. Another difference is our office layout. Our exam rooms open right to the waiting room. Our medical provides room their own patient, and our providers stay in one room instead of alternating between rooms. Cutting steps cuts cost and increases customer satisfaction. We also hand out free medicine right from our exam room, over the counter ones, and some prescriptions ones too. If a nurse's baby is sick, we put a bottle of children's Tylenol or amoxicillin right in her hand. She can take the baby straight back home instead of stopping at the pharmacy. I don't know about you, but I guess it's just looking at all these choices. Nurse Ra doesn't stand a chance in there. We all tax patients. We're open evenings and weekends. We do home visits. We've jumped dead car batteries. Laughter. With customer satisfaction so high, we've never had to advertise. Yes, are growing at 25% a year, and we've become real good at working with Medicaid, since it's pretty much the only insurance company we deal with. Other doctors' offices chase 10 insurance companies just to make ends meet. That's just dreaming. A single payer system is like monogamy. It just works better. Laughter, applause. Of course, Medicaid is funded by taxpayers like you, so you might be wondering, how much does this cost the system? Well, we're cheaper than the alternatives. Some of our patients might go to the emergency room, which can cost thousands just for a simple cold. Some may stay home and let their problems get worse, but most will try to make an opinion at a clinic that's part of the system called the Federally Qualified Health Center. This is a nationwide network of safety net clinics that receive twice as much government funding per visit than private doctors like me. Not only they get more money, but by law, there can only be one in each area. That means they have a monopoly on spatial funding for the poor. And like any monopoly, there's a tendency for cost to go up and quality to go down. I'm not a government entity. I'm not a non-profit. I'm a private practice. I have a capitalist drive to innovate. I have to be fast and friendly. I have to be cost effective and culturally sensitive. I have to be tall, dark, and handsome. Laughter, applause. And if I'm not, I'm going out of business. I can innovate faster than the nonprofit because I don't need a meeting to move a stapler. Applause. Really? None of our innovations are new or unique. We just put them together in a unique way to help low-income folks while making money. And then instead of taking that money home, I put it back into the refugees community as a business expense. This is Mango House, my version of the medical home. In it, we have programs to feed and clothe the poor, and after-school program, English classes, churches, dentists, legal help, mental help, and the scout groups. These programs are run by talent organizations and amazing staff, but I'll receive some amount of funding from profit from my clinic. Some call this social entrepreneurship. I call it social service arbitrage, exploiting inefficiencies in our health care system to serve the poor. We're serving 15,000 refugees a year at least, cost them where else they would be going. Of course, there's downside to doing this as a private business rather than as a nonprofit or a government entity. There's taxes and the legal exposures. There's changing Medicaid rates and the specialists who don't take Medicaid. And there's a bomb threat. Notice there's no apostrophes. It's like we were going to blow up all you refugees. Laughter. We were going to blow it up all you refugees. But then we went to your English class instead. Laughter, applause. Now, you might be thinking, this guy's a bit different. Laughter, uncommon, laughter. A communal narcissist, laughter. A unicorn, maybe. Because if this way was so easy, then other doctors would be doing it. Well, based on Medicaid rates, you can do it. You can do this in most of the country. You can be your own boss. Help the poor and make good money doing it. Medical folks, you wrote on your school applications essays that you wanted to help those less fortunate, but then you had your idealism beaten out of you in training. Your creativity bred out of you. It doesn't have to be that way. You can choose undeserved medicine as a lifestyle specialty. Or you can be a specialist who cuts costs in order to see low-income folks. And for the rest of you who don't work in healthcare, what did you write on your applications? Most of us wanted to do save the world, to make a difference. Maybe you've been successful in your career but are now looking for that meaning. How can you get there? I don't just mean giving a few dollars or a few hours. I mean, how can you use your expertise to innovate new ways of serving others? It might be easier than you think. The only way we are going to bridge the undeserved medicine gap is by seeing it as a business opportunity. The only way we are going to bridge the inequality gap is by recognizing our privileges and using them to help others. Applause.